So maybe that empire that I'd been building had fallen. But in its ruins, I had found a new republic, a people's democracy built on the fundamental idea that I could learn to love myself again. And so, with that philosophy, I went out. And what followed was, well, a period of haphazard decisions, some misguided emotions, but also, well, a period of discovery, a period of self-expression, a period of learning this new language for myself, where I could speak about my wants and my desires, where I could go up to strangers and I could say to them, show me. Show me how I can feel my body the way that I want to feel my body. Make me feel physical again. Sorry, that's oversharing. I should cut it there. That's too much. That's too much. Let's just cut it short here, and I will say, for a while, my life is like an HBO series. And we'll leave it at that. And then one day, in the depths of Amsterdam's dark rooms, I came across a pair of these shining eyes, and I didn't expect I'd be in the kind of place to find shining eyes. And I didn't expect to be in a place where I could strike up a conversation. But there was something special about this man, namely that he was Brazilian. And for those of you who understand, the things with Brazilians is once they know they got you, they got you. I even tried to get away from him. I said, no thanks, I'm not looking for this tonight. And doing my best Mae West, I walked away from him. But then as fate would have it, I ran into him again. And in the most perfect Amsterdam love story imaginable, it's because we had parked our bikes near each other. And because I'd been doing a little drinking, and because I was feeling a little flirty, I suggested, let's bike home together. But I made it very clear that I was going to sleep in my own bed in Belmar. I'm still respectable. Well, I did miss the turn to Belmar. And then I missed it again. And then by the third time, I was so close to his place that when he offered me a glass of water, I mean, what can I say? It was 4 a.m. and I was feeling thirsty. So I go up to his apartment, and no surprise, we get to kissing. And then this man, he treats me like royalty, actually. He was this like treasure hunter coming across this lost vault of gold. And I let him occupy every space of me until I was lying in his bed and I was feeling complete. Have you ever had a moment like that? When somebody loves you so hard that you feel complete? I have this expression. It's that the universe will provide you everything you need, just seldom in the way you expect. And when this man revealed to me that he was a spiritual man, I felt these words. This was the kind of man who kept secrets from Haitian voodoo all the way to the Kabbalah. And I could confine myself within him. I could start to share the spiritual journey that I was on, and he would show me new things. Like this full moon mantra ceremony that had to be done over Zoom, which I feel like kind of defeats the purpose. We were like in his living room, on his couch with his laptop, repeating these weird words. And it felt awkward, and it was like 45 minutes long. But no joke. It began to reveal something within me, if you do it long enough. You see, within me there's this little blue dot. It's about this big. And I can make it appear if I think really hard about not thinking at all. We'd only been dating a little while when he felt the need to confess something to me. I was in the dark of his bedroom when he said, "Phil, I love you." And I am embarrassed by how much I miss hearing those words. And me, with an attachment style so strong that I would write a love story for somebody I'd hardly known even a year, much at the risk that somebody in this audience is shaking their head or rolling their eyes at me. To which case I say, I see you, and relax. I'm not hurting anyone, all right? Just enjoy the ride, like I did. Even I, with all of these things considered, could not say it back. So I did what I thought was the next best thing. I thanked him. And he was understandably embarrassed. And he had to explain to me that in his culture, they have to speak the way they feel. Okay. But in my culture, we wait a couple of months. But even then, I played along. You know, he would send me messages in the morning. Good morning. Did you sleep well? Yeah. Did you sleep well? He did. And then at night, good night. Sleep well. Okay, you too. I miss you. Miss you too. And it went on like this, back and forth, until one day I go to his apartment and he's a bit upset. And I go to him like, tell me, what's up, baby? What's wrong? Turns out he has to leave Amsterdam, that he has to go back to Brazil, but only for the winter. He was going to be back in the late spring. Okay, baby, I'll wait. But even then, those text messages, they became less and less. And when I messaged him to confront him on this, he told me not to worry, that I was still in his thoughts, and he still loved me. Just not enough, apparently, for him to text me like he once did. Or eventually, at all. At that time, if I had told you that I had found spirituality, that I had connected to my inner child, that I'd overcome my trauma and therefore would become a better person, maybe even better than you, I was lying. Because as it turns out, the gradual rejection of this man awoken some frustration in me. Frustration that I thought I'd put away, but turns out I was just keeping it down in storage. And it was about the time when my colleague found me crying in the boardroom of my new job, only a couple of weeks in, that I realized whatever path he'd been showing me was actually a full fucking circle, okay? Because I went back to that same edge, I went back to that same cliff, and I saw myself staring in the same dark sea again. What the fuck? What the fuck was I looking for in those places with those people that I couldn't find within myself? I had known this guy for weeks, only weeks, and how quickly had I thrown my way at the first sign of love? So I got back on my feet again. And this time, I did what any rational person would say. I put my hand in the air and I said, I'm going to be independent and I am declaring war. I am declaring war on any man who dared to steal me from myself. Months pass, and I'm at the gym, and I'm working out. And this man approaches me, this hairy man in a tight shirt with good arms. Who does he think he is? I'm annoyed with him, because I know he's going to ask me to use the gym equipment even though I've clearly just sat down. It's the most annoying thing. Wait a couple of sets and then ask. But just as I'm about to practice setting boundaries with strangers, I notice something. He's nervous. He's shaking. Do you know why? Because he has a question that he'd like to ask me. Do you want to go out for a drink sometime? And you know what I say? After all things considered, because I am being a strong, independent man?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.